It's been 1 year since Thailand's military took control of the government. Let's turn to Tony Cheng in Bangkok. Tony, it's been a year. What is the situation today as far as the political situation and, of course, the economic situation?
Well, politically, there isn't any politics anymore. We have a military government that took over in a coup. They've ceased using martial law, but they're using something called Article 44, which gives General Prayut, the man who's installed himself as premier, absolute power over the legislature, over all branches of government, frankly. They're in complete control. They've used that control. They've arrested hundreds of people who've criticized them, who've opposed them. They've forced all of the politicians to sign agreements that they will not engage in any political activity at the risk of losing all of their assets. They've stamped down very hard on street protests. They've even criminalized things like sandwich eating, which students were using as an inventive way to show their lack of assent to the coup and what's been going on in the last year. That said, it probably would have been okay if they'd managed to keep everything on track economically, although unfortunately that hasn't been the case.
This was the moment 1 year ago when Thailand's military took over. After months of street protests and political deadlock, the generals announced they'd had enough. Since then, their rule has been absolute. At the time, Willawan, a garment manufacturer, had been keen to see the military step in. She had supported the street protest that opened the door for the coup. But this year has not been good. Business is down 30%, inflation is biting hard, and overseas buyers are nervous about the future.
We can't deny that the demonstration and the coup have had a negative effect on the economy, and we need to adjust to the situation.
In the countryside, the impact has been even more profound. Stuck between offering subsidies and falling commodity prices, incomes have dropped by as much as 20%, while prices continue to rise. And while that may be due to factors outside the general's control, they've offered little to the lower-income families bearing the brunt of the downturn.
You saw like agricultural prices are still contracting, rubber in particular, at 40% of population still in the agricultural sector. So that affects a lot of income of a lot of people.
The military have imposed their rule with force. Demonstrations have been shut down and critics silenced with detention and threats. But for the most part, Bangkok has remained peaceful, something the residents are grateful for after years of street protests. 12 months on, and the military emplacements that were all over this area have now been cleared away. People here are incredibly grateful that peace has been returned to the capital city, but they're also concerned that the tensions are still there, and the political problems that have plagued Thailand for well over a decade are lying just underneath the surface. And those underlying tensions may bubble up again soon. Wrangling over a new constitution and referendum is being used as an excuse to further delay elections. And with a faltering economy, uncertainty is not good news.
They don't look the same, but nowhere near the popularity they had after they came in May 2014, after 6 months of street protests. So now they have to really run the Thai economy and govern Thailand and put up with people's demands and expectations. Not going to be easy. We will see more tension and perhaps even some turmoil in the year ahead.
Democracy Monument was raised to commemorate the coup that established Thailand as a constitutional monarchy in 1939. The latest coup seems to be turning back the hands of time.
Well, the one thing that people say when you talk to them about what they want to see now is an end to the uncertainty about where Thailand goes from here. But unfortunately, that looks set to continue. We have heard in the last week that a referendum will be held to discuss the constitution that's been drafted so far. It's a very unpopular constitution. A lot of changes want to be made. But the concession for that that's come from the generals is that they are going to further delay elections. So their promises this time last year that they would get back on track to a democratic Thailand seem far from true. That's now been postponed at least till the back half of 2016. Could be pushed back even further.
All right, CCTV's Tony Cheng live in Bangkok.